3 months before Kim Scott was hospitalized following an alleged suicide attempt, a close friend made a desperate 911 call from Scott's Michigan home, telling dispatchers that Eminem's ex-wife was unconscious and could not be awakened. The April 1, 2026 emergency call, obtained exclusively by us, captures the friend urgently asking the Chesterfield Township Police Department to send an ambulance to Scott's residence. She told the dispatcher that Scott had called her after an argument with her son and said she needed help. "I need an ambulance," the friend said. "I was at work and she just called and she said she had an argument with her son and she's unresponsive." The friend quickly became more frantic as she tried to determine Scott's condition. "Is she breathing? Is she breathing? She's breathing, but we can't get her up. She's breathing. She's warm." She called and she said she needed help. At one point, another woman could be heard in the background calling out, "Kimberly, you gotta wake up." The friend estimated that Scott may have been unconscious for 10 minutes, maybe. She repeatedly urged the dispatcher to send help, then turned her attention back to Scott. "Please hurry," she said before asking, "Kim, what did you take?" Scott did not audibly respond. Her friend continued trying to explain what was happening, while searching for information that might indicate whether Scott had taken anything. "She's still breathing, but we can't wake her up," the friend told the operator. "We don't know if she took anything. That's what I'm looking through right now to try to find out." US has reached out to Kim's lawyer for comment. According to the police report previously obtained by US, officers were dispatched at 11:26 a.m. on April 1st after receiving a report of an unconscious and unresponsive adult female. Authorities said they found Scott on a couch, not moving. The situation changed after firefighters began assessing her. Police reported that Scott remained unresponsive until she was placed in the back of the ambulance where she was awake and had a full conversation. That April emergency was not an isolated call involving Scott. Local police have responded to 10 emergency calls involving Eminem's ex-wife over the past 2 years, with 4 of those calls taking place at her Michigan residence in 2026 alone. One of the most serious incidents came on July 11th, when authorities were called over a report involving a woman who was bleeding. A dispatcher described the incident as a suicide attempt and requested emergency assistance because Scott was possibly unconscious. She was ultimately taken from the home on a stretcher for medical treatment. The police report from that July incident described a much more volatile scene by the time officers arrived. Although emergency personnel had initially been told that Scott might be unconscious, officers said they encountered her in an extremely hostile condition and described her as irate and combative. Authorities alleged that Scott bit and kicked officers during the confrontation and appeared unstable on her feet. Police also reported that she threw headphones against a wall before eventually being restrained on a stretcher. Her legal situation has continued to develop since then. On Thursday, August 13th, Scott was remanded back to jail following multiple alleged bond violations. The Macomb County Sheriff's Office confirmed to us the following day that the 51-year-old remained in custody. According to CBS News, prosecutors said a judge revoked Scott's bond and agreed to release her if she entered inpatient treatment. Scott's current legal troubles also follow 2 OWI cases. She pleaded no contest in May to an operating while intoxicated charge after being accused of driving while impaired when she crashed into a truck earlier this year. She was arrested days later in connection with a separate OWI incident. Prosecutors later told CBS that Scott's alleged failure to appear at court hearings violated the terms of her bond. A judge issued bench warrants in June, although those warrants were canceled within a day after Scott was arraigned. She is scheduled to return to court on October 14th for a probable cause conference. Scott's history with Eminem dates back decades. The former couple married in 1999, divorced in 2001, and briefly married again in 2006, with that second marriage lasting 3 months. They share one biological daughter, Haley Jade Scott. They also adopted Elena Marie Scott, the daughter of Kim's late twin sister, Dawn. Kim is additionally the mother of Stevie Lane Scott from a previous relationship, who was later adopted by Eminem. and she has a son named Parker from a previous relationship. Taken together, the emergency calls, hospitalization, and subsequent legal proceedings paint a difficult period in Scott's recent life, while the April 911 audio now provides an earlier glimpse of the emergency that unfolded months before the July incident. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org. If you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse, contact the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.